the odds we just went through, BetAG, I didn't see any casino magnets on there, right? I didn't see any of that.
Mm-mm.
And so, I don't know.
Charles Barkley likes casinos.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Bit.
Probably the closest thing there.
Magnet for casinos.
That's probably the closest thing on the list. I didn't see any of those names on there. So I don't know how...
That's my mistake.
I don't know how realistic a list with Tom Brady and Dana White and everything else is. Never mind missing all the casino magnets, but it's interesting. I don't know. The further we get away from that with Mannix, how do you feel about that idea? He said a lot of people metaphorically tapped him on the shoulder and said, look this direction. It's what's going on with the Mavs. Obviously, sports gambling is huge for our industry, for sports in general. That seems to be where a lot of things are going. The lines are blurred. As we get, 48 hours out from the WIC news and, going on however long it was since we talked to Mannix late on Monday, do we feel like things are trending in that direction, trending away from that direction, that a casino or someone like Steve Wynn could own the Celtics?
Well, it's largely been a vacuum of information, so I can't say whether it's trending one way or the other. I think it's clear that it's a uniquely attractive situation for an outsider, somebody not local to Massachusetts or New England who's like a lifelong Celtics fan that wants to come in and be part of the tradition here, somebody from the outside who looks at an extremely valuable team who doesn't have a home, doesn't have their own building, but is in a state with legalized sports gambling and a casino right up the road, or the ability to build another one somewhere else with the whole complex there with the Celtics in it. There's not a whole lot of other situations that somebody who wants to plunk down a lot of money into that scenario can look around and find something turnkey ready to go like that unless they want to pay an expansion fee. So I think that's more just, it kind of like makes sense if you're looking at why would an outsider come in and maybe really drive the price up or be interested in this team, aside from the obvious attraction of the Celtics brand.
It's fair. The Greg Hill Show asked today, I watched this video earlier, and you can find that on YouTube, I'm sure.
Hey, it's Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Would you be upset, asked Greg, if the Celtics left the Garden for a new venue? Like, to me, that wouldn't bother me. If they, left the city, they went to Foxborough. I'm not talking about going to Everett.
Everett's annoying, too.
Forget Foxborough. What if they went to, Foxwoods?
Okay, right. Something like that. No.
Out of state, but still in New England.
If they left the city or even went to something like Quincy, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? But Everett, I don't, if they have
How is Quincy different from Everett?
Oh, Everett's way closer.
You think? Maybe to you. Not to me.
I live in the city. Everett's super close to me.
I live in the city, too, and Quincy is closer to me than Everett.
But is it?
Yes.
I don't think it is.
It is.
I don't think it is.
It is.
The Wynn is right. No, I was saying we know the site in the Wynn is right there. It's right out of city lines. I don't know where they're putting it in Quincy.
Quincy is big. You'd probably have to throw it next to some giant warehouse.
You're basically
area.
In the city is my point. I don't know where you're putting it in Quincy.
Look, if they're putting it in Dorchester, I think that's cool.
Okay,
I don't want the Seaport Mall that goes along with it.
My point is it's the city. And so,
Am I so tied to TD Garden that I'm like, oh, my God, you can't take them out of there? No.
But that's my point. I wouldn't have an issue with moving out of the Garden. In fact, if they're moving into a nice new arena, that's great. My issue would be if they leave the city, if they move to Foxborough, if they move to Foxwoods. Quincy feels way too far. And so, to me, that would be the bigger issue. I don't care that they're moving. In fact, it might be nice if they had their own venue.
Are people so emotionally tied to TD Garden for the Celtics?
No. Is it possible that you're just like, hey, it's nice to go see the Celtics, the Bruins, all in the same spot. I know what I'm doing. I know how to do it. I'm comfortable doing it. I've been doing it. Is it just that?
Yeah, but look, I've been in cities before where you build a new stadium and it revitalizes, or to some people, they think it's bad for an area because sometimes it drives people out of their homes and everything. But you can also have the other experience.
Yeah, where in D.C.?
D.C. they build Nationals Park.
Right, and that was where was that?
A completely new thing.
Right,
it's just it's over by the Naval Yard.
Because I've been there.
And now it's a completely different area than it was when they built it 15 plus years ago. And look, that was a really big problem for people who had lived there for a long time. So I don't want to be insensitive to that. If you go there, it's an enjoyable experience and nobody's going oh my God, the Nats should have played in the old RFK dump for the next 30 years,
Right. And so to me, that's where I would have an issue. A new venue to me seems cool. But especially because the Garden is old and it's not that it's loud. I always say it's loud, but it's not a nice arena. It's never been a nice arena.
Well, and it's not Fenway.
Right.
It's not like it's some place that has been around for 100 years and people are going.
It's not the old Garden. There's no real nostalgia to it. And so that my issue would be leaving the city.
They can put a parquet floor wherever they go.
Yeah, I don't care if they have a new venue.
It's not the same.
A new venue might be nice.
I miss the Fleet Center.
A new venue might be the kind of place where you can, really be in the bidding for Final Fours and things like that. If it's nice and new, and there's a chance you can do that. And so there's other stuff that could come along with it, not just concerts and Bruins games. 617-779-7937.